Level 1, 4 p.m. The light changes first, not the clock, the light. You're sitting in the same chair you sat in yesterday afternoon, and yesterday afternoon was fine. Yesterday the light coming through the window was the same color, and it meant nothing. Today it means something. You notice it before you notice the feeling. The room goes slightly gold, slightly long. The shadows stretch toward the wall the way they've stretched every day of your life, and somewhere behind your ribs, something begins to close. You check your phone. No new messages. Nothing has happened. Nobody said anything. There is no emergency, no bad news, no reason. You are 35 years old. You are not sad. You are not tired. You slept 8 hours. You just feel the weight arriving, on schedule, the way it always does. You looked it up once, years ago. You typed, "Why do I feel bad on Sunday afternoon?" into a search bar at midnight, and the internet gave you an answer that felt too small. Anticipatory anxiety, poor work-life boundaries, a suggestion to try journaling. You closed the tab. You knew it wasn't that. Because this isn't fear. Fear is sharp. This is heavy. This is the exact opposite of fear. This is the feeling of something ending that never really started. The first rule. The work week does not begin on Monday morning. It begins at 4 p.m. on Sunday. You've just never been paid for the difference. Level 2, 6 p.m. You get up. You decide to be productive. This is the negotiation you make with yourself every single week, and you always lose it, and you never remember losing it. You tell yourself that if you do something, laundry, dishes, the drawer you've been meaning to organize since March, the feeling will lift, that the weight is just idleness, that it's your fault for sitting still. So you do the laundry, you load the machine, you wipe the counter, you line up the shoes by the door. The feeling doesn't lift, it just gets a background noise. You catch yourself standing in front of the open refrigerator, not hungry, holding the door, looking at nothing. 30 seconds, maybe more. You don't know what you came for. Somewhere in the building, someone is cooking. You can smell it through the wall. A family, probably. Sunday dinner. The sound of a television, muffled, laughing at something. You close the refrigerator. You think about the fact that you have 2 days off, and you have spent 1.5 of them recovering from the 5 that came before. Saturday was for sleep and errands. Sunday morning was for the errands you didn't finish. And now it's 6 o'clock, and the free part is over. You do the math without meaning to. You are good at math when it isn't about you. 104 weekend days a year, and roughly half of every Sunday belongs to Monday. So the real number isn't 104, it's closer to 78. 78 days out of 365. The second rule, 21% is what's yours. The other 79 belongs to something you didn't choose, that pays you just enough to keep choosing it. Level 3, 8 p.m. You eat something. You're not sure what. You eat it standing up, or in front of a screen, and later you won't remember the taste. You open the streaming app. You scroll for 11 minutes. Nothing looks good. Everything looks like it would require you to feel something, and you don't have the budget for that tonight. You put on the show you've already watched, the one you know the ending of, the one that asks nothing. This is not laziness. This is triage. Your friend texts, "Hey, are you around this week?" You look at it. You want to say yes. You genuinely want to see him. You picture the drink, the conversation, the walk to the car afterward. Then you picture Tuesday, the meeting at 9, the thing that will run long, the traffic, the way you'll get home at 7:40 and stand in the doorway with your keys still in your hand. You type, "This week is crazy. Soon though." You send it. You mean it when you send it. You will not see him. The last time you saw him was in February. You didn't know it was going to be a long gap. Nobody ever knows. Nothing dramatic happens. There's no fight, no falling out. There's just a series of Sundays where you were too tired to be a person, and eventually the texts get further apart, and eventually the friendship becomes something you refer to in the past tense, without ever having decided to end it. Later you take a shower, because it's too early for bed and too late for anything else. Under the water, your brain does the thing it does. It opens the folder. The email you didn't answer on Friday at 4:45 because you told yourself it could wait. It could wait. It can still wait. But it's sitting there in a server somewhere with your name on it, and it will be the first thing you see in 11 hours. The conversation you need to have with your manager about the workload. You've rehearsed it 4 times. In the rehearsal, you're calm and clear, and he listens. You already know how it will actually go. You'll say it smaller than you meant to. He'll say, "Let's revisit this next quarter." And you'll say, sure, that makes sense. The number in your savings account. You know it to the dollar. You check it more often than you'd admit, and it never moves the way you need it to. You turn the water hotter. Here's what makes this different from stress. Stress has an object. Stress is about something. Stress ends when the thing ends. This doesn't end. There's no deadline attached to it. There's no version of Monday that fixes it because Monday isn't the problem. The third rule. Exhaustion doesn't take things from you. It just makes you say no, politely, until there's nothing left to say no to. Level 4, 11 p.m. You get into bed early. This is the part you're proud of. You're doing it right. You're being responsible. Tomorrow you'll be rested. You lie there with your eyes open. Sleep doesn't come because sleep is the last free hour and your body knows it. Every minute you stay awake is a minute that still belongs to you, and some animal part of you refuses to hand it over. So you pick up the phone. Just for a second. You scroll. Someone got engaged. Someone's in Lisbon. Someone posted a photo of a laptop on a balcony with a caption about building something. Someone from your graduating class is now a director of something. You don't feel envy. It's flatter than envy. You feel behind. Which is strange because you did everything the way it was described to you. You went to school. You took the job. You showed up early and stayed late and didn't complain and were reliable. And reliable people get given more work, which is the only reward the system has ever invented for competence. You never made a bad decision. That's the part that's hard to explain to anyone. There was no moment where you gambled and lost. There was no crash, no divorce, no illness, no catastrophe. You just did the sensible thing, over and over, for 15 years. And the sensible thing added up to this. You put the phone face down. Then you pick it up again. You set the alarm you already set. There's a specific silence at this hour. The building has gone quiet. The street has gone quiet. You can hear the refrigerator. And you have a thought you've had before and will have again. And you never say it out loud to anyone because saying it out loud would make you sound ungrateful. I have a good life. And you do. You have an apartment with heat in it. You have a job with insurance. You have people who would answer if you called. By almost every measure that gets used, you are fine. Better than fine. And you cannot shake the feeling that you are running out of something that isn't money. You lie in the dark and try to name it. It isn't ambition. It isn't happiness. It's smaller and more specific than that. It's the number of Sunday afternoons you have left, and the fact that you have never once counted them, and the fact that something else has. The fourth rule. You were never punished for a mistake. You were charged, quietly, for playing by the rules. The clock turns over. It becomes tomorrow. Nothing happens. You close your eyes. Level 5, 6:30 a.m. The alarm goes off and something surprising happens. You're fine. You get up. You make the coffee. You put on the shirt. You get in the car or on the train and you go, and by 10:15 you're in a meeting saying something reasonably intelligent, and the weight is gone. Completely gone. You can't even remember what it felt like. That's the cruelest part of it. Monday is never as bad as Sunday said it would be, because Sunday isn't a prediction. Sunday is a receipt. It's the 1 hour a week when the arithmetic gets loud enough to hear, when you're not busy enough to be distracted from the shape of it. Monday through Friday, you're inside the machine and the noise covers everything. Saturday, you're unconscious. Sunday at 4 p.m. is the only window in the entire week where you're rested enough to think and free enough to feel, and the system did not design that window for you. It just forgot to close it. So it closes itself. 5 days of noise, 1 day of sleep, and 1 afternoon where you're allowed to notice, right up until you're too tired to do anything about it. Nobody takes your life all at once. They take it in Sunday afternoons, and they take it slowly enough that it never looks like theft. The fifth rule. That's not a mental health problem. That's a very well-engineered week. The week goes by. It goes by fast, actually. Monday blurs into Wednesday. There's a deadline. Someone quits and their work becomes your work. You handle it. You always handle it. On Thursday, someone says, "I don't know what we'd do without you." And you say thank you. And it does not occur to either of you that this is the entire problem. Friday at 6 p.m. you feel something like relief. And Saturday you sleep until 10. And Saturday afternoon you run the errands. And Saturday night you don't go out because you're saving your energy for Sunday, which you have plans for, which you will enjoy. And Sunday morning is good. Sunday morning is genuinely good. You make eggs. You don't check your email. For 4 hours you are a person with a life instead of a person between shifts. And then you're sitting in the chair, and the light changes. Not the clock, the light. It goes slightly gold, slightly long, and the shadows begin their walk toward the wall. And somewhere behind your ribs, something begins to close. And you check your phone, and there are no new messages, and nothing has happened, and nobody said anything. You're not sad. You're not tired. You slept 8 hours. It's 4 p.m.